Hello, my friends. Welcome to Lean and Clean with Fitness Chef Christine. I'm Christine, your host. And today, instead of talking about what to make or what we should eat, I want to talk to you a little bit about how to reset your metabolism. So you might be going along and thinking, okay, I'm doing all the right things, but nothing's happening. No scale's not moving. Feel all bloated. What is going on? Now, part of that could be due to hormones because as we age, that's what happens. But I want you to look at your nutrition and think about what are the foods that you're putting in you? How is that affecting you? So, for instance, when I eat a significant amount of wheat, I get what I call wheat belly. And after an hour or so of eating that, I look like I'm pregnant because it is something that really adds inflammation to my body. Similarly, if I have a lot of dairy, what I'm talking about is a way to give yourself a check and balance. And it isn't hard and fast rules. It's trying something out for 6 weeks, cut it out, and see how your body reacts. Does it do better? Are you feeling a little less bloated? Are you having a lot less cramping in your muscles and your joints? These are things that we look for. We become our best investigators. So the first week, what I always tell people to do is really look what you're drinking. Cut out the sodas, cut out all that junk food, cut out the booze. I know it's a hard one for people. People love their wine, and wine can be very good for you. And I'm not talking about forever. I'm talking about for 6 weeks, just trying to clean things up and let your metabolism reset. Then we slowly add it back and we see how we do one at a time. So again, let's talk about it. No alcohol, no sodas, no fruit juices, no drinks with any kind of calorie to them. So mostly I stick to water with lemon, water with limes. It makes it very simple. If you're going to drink an energy drink, make sure that it is sugar free. And if you can do it, try to avoid it because it's not really great for you anyway. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I do have my bang every now and again, and I love it. So you have to do what's best for you. And then let's talk about maybe how that affects our metabolism, right? We start to feel a little bit better. We're not putting all that junk in there. We see our bloating start to reduce, and we start to be a little more mindful of what we're eating. So let's talk a little bit more about some of the things that you can eliminate. I had talked about wheat is a big one for people. And I'm not saying you have to go gluten free. What I'm asking you to do is eliminate it for 4 to 6 weeks. Keep track of how you're feeling. Are you feeling less bloated? Are you feeling more energetic? Are you feeling nothing? Maybe nothing changes. If that's the case, go ahead, add it back, and you're all good. But if you add it back and add it back slowly and really be mindful of what it's doing to your body, I think you're going to see makes a big difference. And it also can lead to things like feeling less depressed, feeling more energetic, feeling like your brain is working better. So it's not just about the physical, but it's also about how your brain is reacting to it. So let's take a look at dairy and sugar. My friends, sugar is killer of progress. I know that we've talked about this before, but it can sabotage your nutrition. It can really mess up your sleep pattern. There's just so much negativity towards it that really it's best to avoid it. Not just as an elimination period of time, but really try to have as little as possible. And listen, y'all know I was a pastry chef. So you know I love sugary goodness. I do. But I've really had to cut back and really limit myself, especially as I've gotten older. When I was younger, I could go on a diet and lose 20 pounds, no problem, and continue on. But as I've gotten older, those pounds stay on and they don't want to come off. So it's just not worth it. I use raw honey. I use maple syrup. I don't use agave nectar because I feel like that just isn't the best choice. It really doesn't do a great job of metabolizing. We want to go as close to nature as possible, the least processed food. So that means stopping the perimeter of the store, like the center where all of the foods that are filled with preservatives are. We want to have as close to nature as possible. We want to make sure our food is making us feel energized and really motivating us to move because if you've been with me at all, I always say this, we are really working on making ourselves the most healthy, mobile 95-year-olds or plus that we can be. It's not about the bikini bod. It is about really fueling our bodies with the best fuel possible to get to our goals. Now, maybe your goal is to become in a bikini. That's cool. But we're focusing on longevity, life term. All right, so let's just have a little fun and let's take a look at some calories in popular drinks. So I have I wrote it down. You look at a beer, there's about anywhere from 220 to 150 calories per beer. That's a lot of calories for one drink. But say if you're like me, if I have one, I want 10. I don't really drink much anymore, almost never, but because I couldn't moderate myself and I started getting migraines. But I do think that it's worth looking at the calories. Wine's a little better. We're looking at about 100 calories per 5 ounce glass. So you have to measure. Is that something that you're willing to give up for the benefits? I hope that you are, even for 6 weeks. I have a good friend of mine who did this challenge with me and realized that alcohol was really messing with her life. She had a really hard time overcoming that. And she ended up joining Sober Sis and really, I think it's been 4 years now that she's been clean. I'm so flippin' proud of her. I can't even tell you how proud I am. Rum and Coke, 240 calories. A vodka 7 is 240 calories. A screwdriver, about 200 calories. Strawberry margarita, anywhere from 350 calories up, depending on what you put in it. Tequila, 100 calories for a shot. Now, I know a little goes a long way, but let's try not to have any and we'll be even happier. All right. And it's very difficult when you drink socially because you're not always keeping track of that. And for me, when I would drink, would get not happy. So one beer would cause me to have pretzels and peanuts and just all these things that I didn't add up. I just went willy-nilly and packed on the pounds. So being mindful helped me get that under control. So the first thing, let's review for a second. The first thing I want you to do, get out a pad and paper and cut out all the caloric drinks. The second thing I want you to try is cutting out wheat. Do it for 6 weeks. Now, you can do all this at the same time, or you can take it week by week. Challenge yourself. But today, I'm going to give up this week. I'm going to give up wheat for the next 6 weeks. And then the following week, I'm going to give up dairy for the next 6 weeks and keep track of it. At the end of those 6 weeks, you should have a track of how you've been feeling for all that time that you've gotten rid of that. And then I want you to slowly add things back that we've given up. Calorie drinks, wheat, then we moved up to dairy, and obviously sugar. For me, it was much easier to give it all up. Just give it all up at once and then keep away from that for 6 weeks and then add back slowly. Now, I did find that although I do have, wheat does affect me horrendously. And like I said in a previous podcast, if you joined me before, sourdough tends to do a lot less of that than if I went for a full-on wheat bread. Even whole wheat tends to puff me up like a balloon. So I need that slow digestive, broken down type of sourdough. That really helps the digestive because it has extra enzymes in it that help break it down in your body, which is super important. So let's take a look here. We're going to give ourselves some time to look at how we could do that. So you could do a very specific elimination of one food or food group to determine your sensitivity, or a partial. So you can do, like I said, choose one every week and track that. Or you do complete elimination. You're just going to completely eliminate it until you feel like your body is done with that. And I think that you're going to really find this very self-educating, right? You are your own personal detective. It's only what feels good in your body. I could tell you, hey, you need to eliminate everything and just eat this one food group, right? And it may work for you for a little while, but you're going to end up miserable. I don't want miserable friends. I want happy, fulfilled friends with lots of energy who are fueled up, hydrated, and ready to rock and roll. Are you going to give it a try? You have nothing to lose. Whatever you feel like has been holding you back, whatever you've eaten something, and you probably know. Let's say you had a big cupcake, right? And you get that sugar rush and the sugar. You know that sugar and all that wheat is not great for your body. And you might feel some inflammation afterwards. And maybe you get some aching pain. And maybe you're feeling guilty because you ate all those extra calories. And then the cycle just continues. Let's break that cycle. So I'm going to challenge you to try this. And I want you to tell me how it worked for you. I taught this class for a long time. It's called Total Body Cleanup. But this is a metabolism restart. It gives your metabolism a rest. We are so busy and we're just shoving things in, and we don't give it a rest. Sometimes we don't give it a chance to just really have a good time just getting our gut back under control. You can call it a gut protocol. You can call it a total body makeover. You can call it a metabolism reset. Whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. What you want to do is give your gut a nice little rest. In addition to that, I really want you to think about adding some fermented food in there. Again, we've talked about this before, but really add in some kimchi, some kefir, the sugar-free variety, some Greek yogurt, unsweetened, and all the dill pickles, really all the vinegary, all the fermented foods you can fit in, sauerkraut, all of that stuff is going to help your gut as well. So our job is to really be investigators. All right, my loves, go investigate. And I really thank you for joining me. I hope this has been helpful. And if it has, I hope you subscribe. I hope you stick with me. Most every video has a recipe, but tonight I just wanted to come and talk to you because me and my pool hair, long day, I ate some bread and I blew up like a balloon. And I thought, you know what? I need to talk to you about this. So I know that I'm not alone. So I have taught this for so many years and I'm still learning. My body's still changing. I'm still trying all these different things. Yes, I hope you are. All right, love you. Have a great, wonderful day. Leave a comment. Make sure you rate the show. Make sure you subscribe. Much love.